This is Peter Troast of EnergyCircle, and I'm very excited to introduce you to a new series on digital marketing in solar that we're doing together in collaboration with BayWa. No discussion about digital marketing or solar marketing can't start without a discussion about the customer acquisition cost challenge that has so plagued solar for so many years. This is GTM research data showing that those costs have been in the range of as high as almost $4,000 a job, north of 50 cents a watt. Too high, eating into too much margin, and an ongoing problem for the entire industry. A staple of how companies have traditionally acquired leads has been through the vibrant network of purchase lead sellers in the solar industry. Unfortunately, while there are some good players still left, in general, the industry has come to recognize that purchase leads are in decline. There's great deal of competition amongst these lead sellers, which is pushing the quality of the leads lower. Many of them are going to market offering a price competition so that there's a race to the bottom, and buyers that come through lead sellers tend to be very price sensitive. There are certainly some shady practices by some players, and a growing recognition that the sales costs, both internal sales and external sales costs associated with purchase leads is very, very high. In comparison, and a little bit of numbers here, to something like a Google ad campaign, which we'll talk more about throughout this series, it has the appearance of being higher cost at the lead stage, in this case $153 for the lead, but because appointment rates are high due to the fact that purchase leads tend to be commercial in nature and have more buying intent, the cost per appointments are better, and the appointment to job closing rate is better, resulting in a much improved customer acquisition cost versus what appear to be fairly low cost purchased leads on a non-exclusive basis, sometimes in the $30, $38 range, but appointment rates are very low because of the quality issues. Cost per appointment thus is very high, and close rates tend to be on the low side, pushing your real cost of acquisition far too high. In addition to those challenges with purchase leads is the unhealthiness of being overly dependent in your marketing mix on any particular type of lead source. This is both a risk mitigation issue, but it's also a dependency issue, because purchase leads are fundamentally not an asset of your company, right? They are there for you to go purchase when you need them, and that's a very positive thing. But the second you stop paying for them, you have not built up any form of asset. Whereas in a very healthy company, like you'd see here on the left, where you've got a variety of activities going on that are involving both online and offline forms of marketing, you've got a nice diverse mix. Purchase leads can still be in there, but you've really started to build up your own assets in the form of your website and various other components that are the things that will drive your marketing going forward. The online landscape and the digital marketing scenario, in our view, has become a real imperative for solar companies. We have a significant data set from a lot of installers that we work with across the country and have seen what is going on. 80% of homeowners are shopping for installers online. In situations where we're able to measure the entire marketing mix, we're often finding that 67% or more of total leads are coming from digital channels. The importance of online and third-party reviews has grown and continues to be more important. 92% of buyers say that they rely on third-party reviews before selecting a contractor. We are finding in properly run campaigns that we can accomplish conversion rates, meaning we got 100 visitors to a website, what percentage of those turn into a lead in the form of a trackable telephone number, a form completion, or a chat session, and we can get conversion rates up as north as 20% in once campaigns are well optimized. 44%, looking at a big data set of contractor websites, is now mobile, and that's become increasingly important. This is really where the rubber meets the road. Someone sits down at a search engine dominated by Google and searches for New Jersey solar installers in this particular example. What we're seeing here is that Google's products, namely their paid product, you see at the top in this sort of salmon color, dominates the page, followed by the so-called local pack, which is a place in which there are three listings available to try to compete in, to try to get into that position, and then followed by the 10 organic listings. The pressure on organic continues to happen. Google is continuing to dominate and monetize their paid products and paid search, and consequently the real estate available to organic search is in somewhat decline or under pressure. In addition to that, and you can see there's a really good example, it's difficult for local contractors to win in the organic space. You see an example here where NYSERDA and Clean Energy Authority, a lead seller, Sunrun, obviously a very large company, Solar Power World, and et cetera, are dominating kind of the organic, or the stuff in green here, that makes it very difficult for contractors to kind of win in that organic space. Not impossible, and we'll show you when we talk about this later in the series, but increasingly challenging. Google's Project Sunroof continues to exist. They are not currently monetizing the product. In other words, they're passing the person who goes through that process off into a regular search versus selling it. But that product is out there, and there's always the chance that Google will change their mind. But it is a very dominant form of the search result in solar. The other critically important piece of search is when someone sits down to search for your company and search for your brand name, and you get this format that you see here, in which you've got a bunch of organic listings in the left, very dominated by third-party review sites. You can see here Facebook and Yelp and Guild Quality and Better Business Bureau and various other things. Huge prominence for those review stars, and they better be good. And then you have on the right the Google Knowledge Panel, the source of which is all of the information within Google My Business. So the critical importance of Google reviews and various other new things that are happening in Google My Business that have big opportunity for solar companies going forward. So what we're going to be talking about as the series rolls out is all of these things. As I just said, the rise of Google My Business and the opportunities that exist for careful and regular management of your Google My Business information. We're going to talk about the details and nitty-gritty of making paid search, Google search advertising work in solar, and Bing potentially as well. We'll talk about what I discussed with respect to organic. Is organic search still alive, and is search engine optimization still a worthy investment? We'll cover the third-party landscape, both the Yelps and the Googles of the world, but also the solar-specific companies and the somewhat dilemma of participating in those and giving them more ranking power in your searches that could result in those and losing some of those searches. Facebook, in spite of all of its current challenges, continues to be a very important component in the marketing mix from a brand building and audience building standpoint. Website design, critically important for getting more conversion, as I talked about before. And we'll also talk about a roadmap for launching new products. If you are ready or thinking about going into the storage space, going into the car charging space, or some other new service, there is a formula for how to make that happen. So we'll be talking about all of these, and we look forward to talking with all of you more in the future.